Hey guys, Kaiser Phoenix. This is part 8 in my blind walkthrough of the white Pokemon game. Now, going up to the 8th gym is always a pretty epic sequence in any Pokemon game. In the first gym, you fought Giovanni, which happened to be the head of Team Rocket. In the third game, you fought a Dragon Gym, which was pretty hard. In the fourth game, you fought this Electric Gym, which apparently the trainer was just as good as the Pokemon League, or that's what they really told you. And the fifth game, once again, it's a Dragon Gym. I don't think I learned that from the manual this time. I think Professor Juniper's father actually told me, which, you know, okay, thanks for holding my hand. But, I mean, Dragon Gyms are difficult. Especially now, when the two dragons you fight in there don't have any 4 times weaknesses. They just have weaknesses to Ice and Dragon. And that's difficult to prepare for, because if you go into a Dragon Gym using Dragon Pokemon, well, they have the same weakness that the opponents do, and if they're faster, I mean, you're pretty much screwed. But then there's the Ice Pokemon. Well, I don't think Ice Pokemon have the greatest resistances in the world, and they seem to have a decent amount of weaknesses. So, take for example competitive play. I've got a Dragon, a Salamence, for example. If it's got Flamethrower, it doesn't really have to worry about the Ice Pokemon if it's faster. I mean, I'm sure someone will point out an example, but I'm not highly confident in the defensive capabilities of an Ice Pokemon. So, for my team to go up against the Dragon Gym, I really was just kind of counting on 2 Pokemon. I decided that I was going to take my Snow Cone Pokemon and just train that and see if, like, because I figured it had a 3rd form just by looking at the Pokedex entries. So I figured I may as well do that so I can train it, and you know, Ice Pokemon are usually useful, I guess. I don't think I ever really ended up using them all that often just because he was fairly weak, but I also used my Clink just to, you know, steal at least Resist Dragon, so maybe I could outlast him. That's what I figured I was going to do. And of course, at this point in time, I still had I had some good Pokemon that were evolving around this time. I had things like Serperior, which evolved a little bit earlier, which, wow. I don't know what I expected from Snivy, but this is pretty cool. And now, actually, having seen and fought the other two fully evolved Pokemon, I'm definitely glad with my selection. I think Serperior is pretty nice. Yes, it pretty much just learns grass attacks, but it's good at what it does. It's got good speed. It can put out Leech Seed. I just think it works well. So I'm glad I got that. I had things like Stoutland at the time, which was an interesting Pokemon. I had things like, the Frog Pokemon, which I actually was using quite frequently. I think I came into this also with a Girder, and I think about this time I had figured that Girder and Boldore evolved when you traded them, because they're pretty much for the Graveler and the Machoke, and I traded them, and what do you know? They evolved. Big surprise, right? I have a friend who has Black, and she was she wasn't going in without any spoilers, so she knew everything that evolved, and she basically told me that because I would never figure this out in a million years. I mean, why would you? That Carablast and Shelmet evolve when you trade them for each other, but only when you trade them for each other. When the hell would I have figured that out? I mean, there's a hint in the Pokedex entries about some sort of evolving with that Pokemon, where there's some sort of like light or something like that, but really that clue just made me think that you had to walk around some of the electric stones in the Charge Stone cave. Because, I mean, in the past you had certain areas where if you fought by certain rocks and Eevee would evolve, so I figured like maybe that was that. But no, you had to evolve, you had to trade them with each other to evolve. When the hell would I have figured that out? There's just no way. So we did that. So I do have those Pokemon now. And they are interesting, but that is not something you would ever figure out. And I don't think there's any non-player character that tells you that. But I had a Seismitoad at this time, which was pretty good. Got the water attack. I also learned a nice fighting move. But anyway, I'll tell you more about that when it comes to my Elite Four team. So I got those guys. I'm going to prepare them for the Dragon Gym. But the first thing you have to do in this part of the journey is actually go to Dragonspiral Tower, which is a nice way to prepare for dragons. Fighting other dragons, right? There was some interesting Pokemon in this one. Things like Golett, which was a ground ghost Pokemon, which I never really had the time to use that late in the game, but it was interesting. They definitely did some interesting ghost Pokemon in this game. Also things like Minfu, which I thought was a cool little Pokemon. A fighting cat, why the hell not? Which kind of hit pretty hard. I didn't have too much trouble with those. Druddigon was a surprise the crap out of me. Druddigon just looked badass. Man, I mean, once I figured out very quickly that it didn't evolve, so I figured Axew was going to be more important later on, but that looked pretty impressive. And I got used to fighting those guys. Their little revenge attack could be a pain in the ass, especially if I happen to be using an ice Pokemon. So I think I fought so many of them that I actually decided that Superior was a pretty good way to deal with it, because I could just do a Leech Seed and pretty much stall and heal myself, and that's how I would take care of those guys. So get to the top of Dragonspiral Tower, and who's there but Reshiram. Holy crap, that was a cool little cinematic. You see N hanging out with Reshiram, and then they take off, and you're like, well, crap. That's not good. And of course, that part is the missing get to run around with the Ice Gym guy. So he didn't talk too much. It wasn't too annoying, but somebody said he was like an actor or something at one point in time. It's an interesting little one. They've had some interesting gym leaders here. You talk about the electric gym leader who was a model. It was like Pokemon gym models now. What is going on? I know we have had wrestlers and all sorts of crazy stuff, but I think in the first game a lot of them were just, yeah, I'm a rock trainer, that's all I am. You know, Lieutenant Surge was an army guy, but whatever. There wasn't too much beyond the Dragonspiral Gym. You were kind of flying around a little bit. I remember going to the desert area, which was nice to finally go underneath. I had been there a couple times thinking, surely now I can go in there, but nope. Can't go underneath the bottom levels of that area just quite yet. I think around this time, I'm pretty sure around this time I actually evolved my Yamask into the Confagrigus, which was a pretty cool little Pokemon. I do like that one. I'm training one of those. I think that's pretty neat. Sort of reminds me of Dusknoir a little bit in its defensive stats, but pretty cool. There's also the crocodile thing under there, which I think mine had evolved at about that time. Not fully evolved yet, but evolved into its second form. I was starting to wonder when it would fully evolve. A lot of these guys evolved pretty late in the game, and in fact, I was kind of wondering if a lot of them didn't evolve when you traded them, but ended up being wrong. So I got the Darkstone, I believe was the name of it. Darkstone. They were like, yep, this is going to be a dragon. We don't know how that's going to happen, but you just figure it out, buddy. This will eventually be a dragon. I'm like, great. Thanks. I finally get to the dragon. Actually, before I get to the Dragon Gym, I finally find the Mall 9, which I had been hearing about in the little passage areas on the news screens since the beginning of the game. I was like, where is the big Pokemon Mart going to be? And finally, I found it. I don't know if I bought anything from there, but it was like, where is this thing? So I finally get to the Dragon Gym. I have to fight Iris, and by this time, I think my Ice Cream Conan evolved into the Ice Cream Shiv or Dagger. I was like, okay, a little interesting. And then my Clink had evolved into a Clang, and I knew it wasn't fully evolved, but I figured, yeah, this will work. I'll be able to stall with this. It's got a decent steel attack, so let's just see how it works. And I pretty much went through the gym without too many issues. I think the gym leader helped me out, Iris, a little bit. I got rid of her Fracture with Clang, I believe. Got rid of her Druddigon with my Superior in the way I told you before, just sort of stalling it out. And when Haxorus finally showed up, first of all, I was like, holy shit, it's a Dragon Battle Axe. What the hell am I going to do? I mean, that thing looks badass. That is a freaking cool dragon. Of course, at this point, I have no idea if it has a secondary type or anything. I don't know. I'm just trying to survive. That was my strategy when it came to the 8th gym. I'm just sitting there with Clang and slowly whittling it down. And what do you know? This guy is dragon dancing up. Now, I know that if he dragon dances up too much, I am screwed. There is not much I can do. But he gets, I think, 4 or 5 dragon dances. And he finally hits me. But what I had done was not only was I stalling with my Clang, but I had put like the Rocky helmet on Clang, which means that whenever he hits me, he is going to take some damage, which is nice, especially when you resist his dragon attack. So I think he hit me once, and I don't know if that took him out or if it put him in a position that I could take him out next turn, but no, I think what happened was he dragon danced like 5 times, hit me with the Dragon Claw. Of course, it almost kills me, but I'm steel, so I resist it. He goes down a little bit because of the Rocky helmet, and my attack finally kills him. I was like, holy crap, I got away by the skin of my teeth there. But that happens when you face computers sometimes. They'll dragon dance up for forever, and you just kill them before they can do anything. But yeah, Dragon Gym, not too bad. And Haxorus looks amazing. I want one. I freaking want one. After I get out of the gym, I get the Master Ball, so that's a good thing to have, and I figure like, hey, this is the game basically telling you, by the way, it's important to the plot that you catch the dragon coming up, so here's a little gift that allows you to do so. Don't mess it up. So there were a lot of interesting Pokemon in this part of the game, and a lot of them I didn't necessarily have time to try out. Like I said, there was things like the Acelgor, which I got, which looked really cool, but didn't really have time to use it. Looks like, okay, Acelgor. I know it's supposed to be a ninja, but if you look at it closely, it also looks like a man with a bearded face. It kind of freaks me out just a little bit. I saw things like Stunfisk, like I said in the last video, and again, I didn't really try them out. Mienfoo, which looked cool, but again, wasn't able to try it out. Dragon, I got a Golett. I believe I got a Poniard in this part of the game, which was interesting. Dark Steel. A fighting type's going to absolutely destroy that, but interesting little Pokemon. But I will catch you guys on part 9. We'll talk about my journey from the 8th city to the Pokemon League. We'll see you next time.